Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Unconventional Attorney Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Small, and I am the Unconventional Attorney. Hope you guys are having a great day, a great week, a great month, a great everything. I'm actually recording this on the release date, which is not normal. I usually record these earlier, but we just moved into a new house. So there's that. That takes up a lot of time. And so I haven't had a lot of time to do this, but I'm doing it today. I also was in LA, which is sort of the point of this podcast. I was in LA on Friday and Saturday at a mastermind meeting, and so I've also been busy there. Now, before we get to my mastermind group, my mastermind meeting, and all of the wonderful things that I learned, I wanted to give you an opportunity to hear from me more. Some of you are probably already turning this thing off, but that's fine. I have a email newsletter that goes out every week, and in that newsletter I talk about a couple of different things. I talk about things in that newsletter that I don't talk about here or anywhere else. I do that for a reason. The reason is that, if you have entrusted me with your email address, I want to entrust you with some amazing information. So that's what I do. The other thing that you're going to get every single week is a little peek into the Inner Circle. If you didn't know, the Inner Circle is a group that I have of law firm owners, and every week I go in there into the group live, and I talk about one of four things depending on the week that is. Week 1 of the month is typically marketing and branding. Week 2 is advertising. Week 3 is sales. And week 4 is sort of productivity and mindset. And if there's a week 5, then I try to bring on some ninja person to sort of teach and do something fun to kind of mix it up. So every week I've got new interesting things that I'm talking about, new ideas that I'm working on, new things that I'm learning, and I share them with the group. And if you are on my newsletter, I give you a peek, which means I give you usually a little high-level overview of what we talked about, hit some of the main points. The idea being, that you can take that information and you can make some progress with your firm, even if you haven't decided to come into the group, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. To get access to the newsletter is super simple. Just go to theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter, and it'll pop up. If you also basically just go anywhere on the site, it's going to pop up and say, hey, you want to join the newsletter? This is what you get. Come on in. All right, so go check that out, theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter, and you don't want to miss out, okay, because they're amazing. And the stuff I'm talking about this week, or talked about this week, is also amazing because it had to do with this mastermind that I went to. If you are unfamiliar with the idea of a mastermind, it is essentially a group of people that come together to share ideas, to be vulnerable, to have real talk without fear of retribution or being made fun of or whatever else you might be afraid of. That is really what a mastermind group is. It's the idea that the collective mind, that the mind of everyone in attendance is better than your individual mind. And it is really in many ways for a couple of different reasons. But the main reason, I think, is that what a mastermind allows you to do, if you are vulnerable and honest and participate, not only in your own sort of hot seat, but in other people's hot seats, is it gives you the ability to get a different perspective on an issue that you have that you may have been blinded to for some reason. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? We all have blind spots in our business and in our lives, and unfortunately what makes them blind spots is that we can't see them. We don't necessarily know that they exist, except to the extent that we know that blind spots do exist. So to be able to have somebody cast a light, to shine a light on your blind spot, is monumentally helpful, both for your self, for your pocketbook, potentially for your employees, for your clients, for everyone. And so I'm a part of this group, and we meet every quarter in LA, and it's awesome. It's not law firm owners, it's business owners of all different kinds. Got somebody that owns a couple of different acupuncture locations. We've got, a guy that does ayahuasca experiences, which is kind of cool. We've got someone that is like an executive coach for women in many ways. We've got somebody that specializes in systems and processes. We've got someone that specializes in sort of just coaching and consulting in general. We've got, who else do we got in the group? I'm trying to think about who I sat next to. We have someone that they do two things. They teach people the power of testimonials and how to get them in their business. And they also have this thing called the Parents Photo Club, which is totally amazing. So if you're an adult, and by the way, I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything like this, but if you're an adult and you want to take great pictures of your kids, I would go check out Kids Photo Club, because it's a husband and wife team, and the husband is like a rock star videographer and photographer. He's won, I think, Emmys. He's recognized in like the industry, so it's kind of cool. And anyway, so that's just a snippet. There's a guy that he has owned a very, very, very prominently known, successful web hosting company. He also owns a voice over internet protocol phone service, and is also in charge and runs an advertising agency that is representing Fortune 500 businesses. It's pretty freaking sick. And we also have, by the way, and I have to talk about this person, because if I don't, I'll feel bad, because he's such a contributor to the group, and he's doing cool things too. Someone in the group that is is in charge of the sale of millions and millions and millions of dollars of protein throughout the United States every month, I think. Anyway, so it's a conglomeration of people that come in, and the idea is to bring a question, bring an ask, bring a frustration, bring a problem, and present it to the group, and get the group's collective mind to help you solve that problem. So I really love it. And in this mastermind group, we do a lot of that. We do a lot of true masterminding. And then we also have opportunities for people in the group, if something is really working for them, to share it with the group. And so, to give you a perfect example, last quarter, not this one, I shared my unconventional branding strategy, which I've talked about here a lot, with regard to creating content and then putting it on Facebook and distributing it out to the world and putting some money behind those videos on Facebook. I presented that to that group, and it was like, mind's blown. So that's what we do. This one, like the others, was super fun, and I got a lot out of it. I thought I would share some of the things that I learned, some of the lessons that I learned with you, so that you could take those lessons and make them your own and utilize them to actually grow your business. Okay? Now, before I say that, I will let you know that in the Inner Circle, right, which is my group of law firm owners, we do a quarterly event as well. It's not completely a masterminding, but there is an opportunity for that to happen, and it does happen every time. If you want to even just check it out, go to circleofsmall.com. Okay? I'm not going to give you a big plug here. That's it. Okay, so let's talk about this mastermind things. 10 lessons from my Los Angeles mastermind meeting. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1. It's okay to do one simple thing really, really well. This one is a big lesson. It's not necessarily something that I learned this weekend, but it's something that I was reminded of. It's sort of the focus of my business, right? I do estate planning and I do probate, but I do very, very specific things inside of probate and inside of estate planning that can be done over and over and over again, and that a large number of people need. So I get to provide a fantastic service that really helps people, but I get to do it in a way that is efficient, that is profitable, and that where everyone wins, basically. So My computer monitor just turned off, so we're going to turn it back on. So there's that, right? I think often what happens in the world where I heard this lesson, which is the digital agency kind of a world, and even in our own world, we feel less than if we are focusing on something that seems to be simple. Particularly if it seems to be simple in the legal community and we have to tell people what we do, we can just feel like we have to prove something to somebody. When the fact is, the only thing that you have to prove anything to is yourself. And the sooner that you can get to that point, the better. And if you like to do the complex stuff, that's great. Go and do it. But you shouldn't feel obligated to do it. And you should know that there's a market and there's a place for you as a service provider for providing something that seems simple to you, but that a lot of people need, and then you can provide. And you can make decent money at it. A living wage, as they say. All right, that's number one. Number two, focus is what gets the results over anything else. I talk to my syndicate members, which is some people I work with one-on-one, and we talk every 2 weeks or twice a month, and we often talk about, or they often ask, what's the next thing? I was thinking about this. Should I dabble in Instagram? I was going to do a little bit of direct mail. What do you think? And what I tell them is this: pick one thing and do it really, really, really well. Get it really, really, really dialed in. And then, and only then, pick the next thing. And that is exactly what this means. So for me, for example, I've had probably Q2. This is just the start of Q3. Q2 was a really great quarter for me. And I think part of the reason for that was I stopped worrying about all the stuff that's like out here off the screen, and I just started worrying about what was right in front of me. I just started creating a lot of content. I started making sure that content got pushed out to all the places that it needed to go. I made sure that I put enough money behind it to have an impact, and then I just focused on getting really, really, really good at doing that thing over and over and over again. And it works. And it will work for you. So if you've been jumping around for a lot of time, stop doing that. Pick something, focus on it until it works, and then go to the next thing. Okay? Number 3. This one is important for me, I guess. Maybe not. There are many different ways to approach a problem. It's so funny, like everybody kind of makes fun of me in this group because I just want to drill right down to like what is the root of this problem and then like solve it, like just crush it. And there were a bunch of times in the meeting where people would be talking for a long time, and then I would raise my hand and I would say, so are you saying X? And they would say yes, and I would just say, then do Y. That would be my only advice. I wouldn't get into details. I wouldn't be talking about other things. I just would just go for the hammer. Bam. But that's not how everyone else approached it. And I saw from them and their approaches, A, that people got a lot out of those approaches, including myself. And then B, just acknowledging that this is not exactly a requirement, right? You can do many different things, many different ways. I think, and this applies to marketing efforts, sales, all kinds of stuff. I think the key though is to pick one focus and then do that thing, right? So just because there are many different ways to do the same thing doesn't mean you should try them all. You should pick the one that you think works the best for you and go and do that thing. Number 4. This is a big one. I was reminded again of the significance and the importance of dealing with yes but people versus yes and people. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm going to tell you. So, yes but people, I would call the commoner, the normal the average person. You say something, you have an idea. It's a little bit risky, maybe. It's a little bit out there, maybe. It's a little bit risque, as they say. And this person says, "Oh yeah, that sounds great, but Have you thought about this terrible thing that's going to happen? Have you thought about this, this potential outcome that's not desirable? But have you thought about blah, 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 blah? Basically trying to destroy your dreams, right? Not literally, but just bringing you down, when likely encouragement's what's needed, because nothing is actually going to kill us. So even if you fail miserably at something, you just pick it up and do it again, right? It's very simple. Then on the flip side of that, you have people that are yes and people, right? You tell them an idea and they go, that's amazing. And have you thought of this? And have you thought of that? And wouldn't it be cool if this? And that's so amazing, right? These are the people that lift you up, that give you that energy, that desire, that push that you want when you're trying something new, that you want when you have anxiety maybe and fear over doing something, right? Those are the people that you want. And those are the people that you're going to find at mastermind groups. Those are the people that I try to get into my group, right? Those are the people that do well and thrive as entrepreneurs, as business owners. So anytime you can find those people, whether it's in a group or just out in the world, you want to hang with those people, okay? The guy in my office, his name is Moses. He's an accountant. He's kind of that guy, okay? He's got his own business he's running. He's doing a really great job. He really pushes himself, and that's good. Those are the people you want to find. Those are the people that were in my mastermind group, and I was reminded again of the power of those people to feel energized by an idea, even though you're scared of it. To come into something and say, I'm not sure about this. Can you guys help me with this? And to have everybody try to find any reason that they can for you to be successful. Pretty awesome. Okay. Number 5. Doing is always better than thinking. This one most definitely applies to all of you attorneys, right? And I'm getting better at this, so maybe not even apply to me, although I think it does. It always does. It's a pretty simple concept. Doing is better than thinking. We can theorize about things all day. We can plan. We can strategize. We can learn. We can get more information. We can get more feedback, right? But you're not really going to learn anything until you start doing, until you're in the ring, until you get punched in the face that first time. You can feel what that feels like, right? The stickiness of the glove, the pain in your face, right? The ringing in your ears, whatever that thing is. And you're not always going to be getting punched in the face, but you're going to get feedback. You're going to get better. You're going to learn what works and what doesn't. Whereas if you're thinking, it's always an exercise. It's always an exercise. And we had some moments in our meeting where people were just thinking too much. Where you're like, look, you have all the information in front of you. Just make a choice. There's no wrong answer. If your first choice sucks, you make another choice. It's very simple. Okay, number 6. This is also a big one. Always be aware of putting cart before horse. We've all heard that little saying, whatever you would call it. We don't want to do that. We do not want to put the cart before the horse. A perfect example is this in the group. Somebody went in for a hot seat and they were trying to figure out how to do a thing. They were trying to figure out how to get an audience basically for a business that they were running. Okay, they're like, we want more people in here. We need more people in here. But when it got right down to it, they didn't really have a specific idea of what they were offering to that potential client or to that potential customer. And so without the offer, it makes it really, really hard to figure out how to get people to be interested in the offer. You don't know what to say, what the benefits are. You don't know what the features are. You don't know what a lot of stuff is. And so to sometimes we want to jump ahead. We want to do a bunch of different things before we are ready. I've been telling people this a lot, especially lately. In the life cycle of our business, 3 months, 6 months, even a year is like nothing. Nothing. And so you have to keep that in mind when you are out there thinking about the things that you're going to do. Don't do them crazy. Don't try to go too fast. Don't try to jump ahead. Just do the thing that's right in front of you and do it really, 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 really well. Okay? My computer screen went dark again. That's why you hear the keyboard. All right, number 7. This is also a big one for us attorneys, for us risk-intolerant people, and that's the idea that you're always, 100% of the time making decisions with incomplete data. That is why it's so important to make decisions quickly and don't overthink them. Get feedback and move on. There's this organizing principle that we talk about in my group called the velocity method, and the framework goes like this. Decide, step 1. Align, which means if you have more than one person that you're working with in your team, that you align everybody with the decision. This is what we're going to do. Okay, the other part of that is this is who's going to do it and in what time frame. Okay, that was number 2. Number 3 is to act. I think apply, something like that. And then number 4 is to adapt, which means we look at all the feedback so far from the feedback loop, and then we go back to the top of the circle and we make another decision, and we do the whole thing all over again. That could be a decision to move forward, but it could also be a decision to sort of change a little bit, turn strategy or do whatever. And that is what this thing is all about. Okay, you are always making decisions with incomplete data. That's why the feedback loop is so important. You want to make sure that you're circling back. Is this working the way that we thought it was going to work? Is everybody getting everything done that they said they were going to get done? Don't be afraid to make a choice. Push your law firm forward. Do that thing that you know you need to do. That thing that I've been telling you to do forever. Go do it. Okay? Number 8. This is a big one. And I'm going to go in depth on this. Definitely in October at the Inner Circle Live event. But probably I'll talk about it in a podcast here pretty soon. It's this idea, this concept of reliability versus risk, and aligning your time in the proper channel depending on your specific circumstances. Okay? In reality, we all want to try to work from a place, at least a little bit, that has some reliability. You can make sure that money's coming in, people are signing up on the regular, you can eat, your staff can eat, everybody feels good and safe. There's a balance of that reliability between risk. Risk is trying out that new idea, implementing that new marketing strategy, offering that new service potentially, or that add-on service, or that back-end service. The important thing that you want to do is work in the 2 areas of risk or reliability. You don't really want to work in the middle, okay? You want the reliability, which is like the boring stuff that has good upside, that's going to just churn out stuff for you, bang, 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 all the time. And risk is the big time, big returns, right? Potential big risk, potential big return. Then you want to allocate your time and your energy and your money between the risky stuff and the reliable stuff in a way that makes you feel good. Number 9. Oh, excuse me, I yawned. I was just talking about this today, which is minimum effective dose versus maximum recoverable volume. Now, I never remember those 2 things. I always want to call it minimum viable product, but we're not doing that today. Minimum effective dose is the thing that you need to maintain the thing that you need to maintain. So, for example, in the example that I just gave, let's say reliability is there for something that you've done. You're making a widget, it's reliably getting bought, it's reliably getting sold. You're going to sell X of them a month, you're going to build X of them a month, and you're going to make X profit. Okay? For that type of a thing, you may want to just give it the minimum effective dose, which is to run the set of ads that will get you the same people in the door, charge the same prices, but work at a minimum so that you're only doing the work that you really need to do in that instance. When it comes to maximum recoverable volume, This is everything that you can do, but everything that you can do consistently. And I have this conversation with people all the time when it comes to creating video. At the mastermind video, somebody said, or at the meeting, somebody said, I'm going to make video every day for a week for 90 days. And basically like come back to the group and report. And when we got done, I said, when we got done, I pulled him aside and I said, hey, here's the deal. If you try to go from 0 to 7 videos a week, you're going to get burned out, which means you're going to do these videos for 5 days and then you're just going to stop. And what we really want is consistency over time. So think about the maximum number of videos that you will do consistently over time. And he's like, okay, probably like 3. Perfect. 3 then for him is your maximum recoverable volume. It's that level at which you can come back and do the thing again. And fitness is an easy example to use for these things, but imagine someone that goes and they squat so much that they break their leg. That is not a maximum recoverable dose. They went too far. The kind of leg workout you want is where your legs are sore tomorrow, but you can still walk, so you can go back. Okay? And then number 10, last but not least, to a person with a hammer, everything is a nail. What I love about these groups is that you get a lot of different perspectives. You get a lot of different things that are working for a lot of different people. And so you don't go into a situation where, I'll give you a perfect example. There's a person in our group that crushes LinkedIn. Okay? Her business is well suited for LinkedIn and it's amazing. She was a part of a different group a while back. This group taught Facebook marketing as part of their strategy. And for a long time, she tried to talk to them about her LinkedIn strategy, and they always pushed her away from it or pulled her away from it or took her away from it and said, no, the low-hanging fruit is Facebook. Come on over and do this program. And so she felt like she wasted some time because to those people, their hammer was Facebook, and every problem that they saw was a nail. So we're going to get it with Facebook, right? That's just simply not always the case. So keep that in mind when you're talking to people, and when you are out there in the world doing your thing, that your solution isn't the only solution either. So just remember that. I think that's key in these groups because you get a lot of feedback that's different from the average feedback because people have different perspectives. Okay, that is it. It's my top 10 lessons learned from my mastermind meeting in LA last weekend. If you want more, if you want the secrets, if you want little peeks into my weekly Inner Circle Mastermind presentations and Q&As, then you need to go to theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. Sign up. It comes out once a week. I'm not crazy. Email her. I just try to keep it simple. I keep them really, really good. Maybe every once in a while I'll try to sell you something, but that's good for you anyway. You need what I got. Okay? That's it. If you like this podcast, go subscribe. If you're watching this on video, subscribe. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Ask a question. That'd be great. Okay? So, that's it for now. Until the next time, I am Christopher Small. I am the Unconventional Attorney. I'm so honored and excited to have you listen to this all the way through. If you know someone that needs to hear this, please share it with them. Otherwise, I will see you again next time.